Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Steven Universe, Beach-A-Palooza, the card battling game. Beach-A-Palooza is brought to you by Cryptozoic Games. It's for 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and games range anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. So, it's Beach-A-Palooza time in Beach City. No one enjoys entertaining people more than Steven Universe, so he has once again summoned more Stevens from his former band, Steven and the Stevens. But this time, they're going to do it right, and each Steven will have his own band to recruit his friends to join. Now the Stevens can compete to see who can put on the best show. Of course, all the excitement of Beach-A-Palooza has also drawn the attention of party crashers in the form of unruly Corrupted and Homeworld Gems. So in addition to competing against one another, the Stevens and their friends must all work to keep these party crashers at bay and make sure Beach-A-Palooza rocks. So the object here is to be the Steven that recruits the best band and audience at Beach-A-Palooza, defending against the party crashers that are looking to ruin everything and gain the most victory points to win the game. To set up the game, each player is dealt a random Steven. All the Stevens have their own unique special powers and abilities. And you'll receive 10 crystals, along with your player token. Your token will be placed at the 0 position on the Beach-A-Palooza scoreboard. Now there's 3 main decks in this game. You have Act 1, 2, and 3. You'll take each of those decks and shuffle them up individually. Act 1 is what you're going to start with. You'll deal out 9 cards to each player. There's also Act 1 fusion cards, Act 2 and 3. You'll take the Act 1 fusions and you'll reveal them under the scoreboard to show the different characters that you can potentially fuse with in the game. Now, there are some duplicates for these fusion cards, and depending on the player count will determine how many of these come into play. Then finally, you'll take the Party Crasher deck. You'll shuffle that up and deal 3 to the table. Now, the crystals, you have the light pink and the dark red. So the light pink are worth 1 energy and the dark red are worth 3. Then each player will prepare their stage. This is their play area. And there's really 2 areas. There you have the stage area and you have the audience row down in front. So Steven can have 3 members on the stage with him. And they live to the left, right, and behind him. And this is your band. And then down in front is where all the audience lives. And there's even some special characters that have dual roles that can live in the audience and the stage, and they can move around to both different locations. So those are the main areas where we'll be placing cards. Now, those crystals that you received at the beginning, all 10 are going to go on Steven. So the game consists of 3 rounds, or 3 acts, Act 1, 2, and 3, and within each act are 3 phases. The first thing you're doing is taking those 9 cards that were dealt to you. You're going to look them over and you're going to choose 3. Any combination you want of audience members versus stage characters. You'll choose those, and the rest of the cards then get put to the side for the next round. Now, you as the player receiving that next set of cards can't look at them until the next round starts. So you're going to be looking at your cards, deciding what you're going to play on your turn. And the nice thing here is that all this can be done simultaneously, which is really handy, and it speeds the game along nicely. But you look at the cards. Now, it's important to note that one of these cards is going to get captured by the party crashers. So we'll go into a general pool, hoping that you as the players can save them. But 2 of the cards will go into play if you can afford them. First, you're looking at stage characters. There is a number value in the top right. That's how many crystals it requires to power that card. You'll place it next to Steven and move those number of crystals over. And if you don't have the number of crystals to move, then you can't play the card. However, audience members are very different. They're going to aid you through the game. And it's important to note that audience members also have some set collection going on. You're trying to generate different sets of these cards in order to get bonus points at the end of the game. But the thing here, audience members are going to give you crystals, really aid you in this way, or they're going to allow you to move crystals from Steven, any number, to any of the other cards you have in play. Now, before you go after these party crashers, you have one more decision to make. Are you going to fuse? You have characters in the middle of the table that potentially can aid you and give you more bonuses and power when you go after these party crashers. But the key here is, can they fuse with the different characters you have in play? What's handy here is that along the right side of the card, it'll show the character portraits that each of these will fuse with. If they do match what you have, you can choose to fuse. And what you're going to do is take all the power and everything you have in your play area and move it off, take the cards that are fusing and combine them under the fused character. Literally fusing the characters together, which is really fun. But they can, like I said, give you all kinds of bonuses and different power that you're trying to achieve on this round to take out one or more party crashers. And then it's time to attack those party crashers. Now, taking a closer look at these cards, you'll see that they have multiple spots or different value locations that you have to hit. You have to do that amount of damage. It could be 1 to 5. And each of those locations is going to give you a bonus as you hit them. So you could simply just get victory points, or I like the thematic bit of this, you could rescue one of the characters from the public area. And again, those cards are going to go in your audience area or in your stage area, as long as you pay the cost and so forth. And you could potentially also just get more crystals. Lots of reasons to go after the different type of party crashers that are out there. Now, if you look at some of those cards as you attack them, you might get negative effects based on characters that you have in play, so keep that in mind. And the way attacking works is that the different characters that you have on your stage will have an attack value on the left. You'll have to pay that number in crystals, and then it'll show you how much damage you actually do. So if you do 3 points of damage to a spot, you only have to put 1 crystal there just to show that it was taken out, and you collect that bonus. And if there's other spots that you have crystals left over for, you can still attack on that same card and gain the bonuses as well. So that's basics of how you attack the different types of party crashers. Just using your different characters that are in play, and if you fused with the character, you might get all kinds of bonuses in how you attack. And your Steven might give you additional bonuses when you attack and so forth. But the thing here is that if you are able to cover the last spot on a party crasher, then you get an additional bonus. You can either pick 3 points of victory, or you can choose another card that's in the public area. So you have a couple choices there as you take out and bubble all these different types of party crashers. And so the game will go on this way, round after round, or act after act, I should say. And you're trying to make the best band and audience of all the Stevens out there. Now, it's important to note that the crystals that you start with in Act 1, that gets refreshed when you get to Act 2 and then again in Act 3. So you do get some more opportunity as you move through those different rounds and so forth. But at the end of the game, you're going to calculate all the score based on what you've accumulated throughout. And then you're looking at whoever has the most crystals, second and third, it will get points. And then who has the most set collections, you'll actually not the most, but you'll take a look at the set collections you have inside of all your audiences, and you'll calculate score based on that as well. And whoever has the most points will be the ultimate Steven in the universe. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, this game, if you're a fan of the show, you're going to really, really like it, because the designers behind it are also fans, and it really shows. All the careful attention to detail and all the little things they put in, like, I didn't even mention, but in the acts 1, 2, and 3, they basically mimic the seasons of the show, and the characters throughout those seasons all happen and appear within these different acts. Little things like that throughout the game really add a lot. And again, the multiple Stevens is based on an episode as well. So if you're a big fan of the show, this is definitely a game for you. But I also found that it is a pretty entertaining and engaging card game for folks who don't even know the show. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.